Hello, everybody. This is Howard, the Teaserking. I'm going to talk about the NFL draft. I've been trying to talk about Jim Harbaugh, and the video I keep having internet connections, so I can't talk about it anymore. All right, let's look at the NFL draft, the 2015 draft. I like to kind of grade it on my own without listening to Mel Kiper and all these idiots who are really clueless. I don't know what they're looking at. I think I kind of have a clue. They're just looking at the All-American list that's in the magazines or somewhere, and they just, here, I can look at the All-American list from wherever, and I could go, oh, yeah, he's a good pick, he's a good pick. I think that's really all they do, because they're pretty clueless. I actually watch all the games, obviously, because we handicap college and pro. And so I know good players and bad players, and I know winners and losers, and that's the key to my success and how I make you guys successful, make you money. I know the players, but I have a really good eye for the players, and I have a really good high football IQ because I've been doing this since basically I've been watching since I was 5 years old, and really handicapping or picking games since I was 10. And I'm 50 now, so it's been a while. I've seen everything. So my point is, I have a really good judge for talent. I have a really good judge for winners and losers. Why do I balk at like a Christian Ponder pick in the first round? Because the guy's not a winner. He's at Florida State with good talent, and he loses there. So why would you think he's going to win in the pros? What's different that he couldn't win at college, which is easier to win at? Because you could pick on quarterbacks because the skill level on the other team isn't as strong as it is once you're in the NFL. So if you can't beat weak quarterbacks in college, how are you going to beat pro quarterbacks in the pros? And this is basically what I look at and why I say, hey, this guy, I always talk about Kellen Moore, why isn't he starting? Why do I say that? Because in college he was a winner. They'd score 50 points a game. He wins every freaking game. And basically he throws 120-some touchdowns to 20 interceptions. So it's not a fluke. The guy knows how to get touchdowns and score, and the guy knows how to not throw interceptions. He gets to the line. He knows where he's throwing the ball. It's boom, boom, and it's very accurate. That's why I say, why isn't Kellen Moore started? Because I watched him. He's a winner. That guy will win for a team. The Lions are stuck with Stafford. Matthew Stafford's not a winner. He's a loser. He didn't win at Georgia. He's got a big arm, fine, but as soon as pressure's on him, he throws interceptions all day long. And all he does is throw the ball to Calvin Johnson. So he's a loser because he doesn't win the games. He wins some, but basically the game's on the line. Yeah, there's a few against Miami's or Buffalo's or whatever, Cleveland's, but when the big games come, he's not showing up. As soon as the pressure's on him against the better defenses, he folds up. That's a loser. So when I look at the draft, I look at winners and losers. And I watch all the college games, and I know who's the stud and who's not. And that's why I get surprised when the idiots like Mel Kiper and the other guys, and even this Phil Steele, who I read his magazine, the guy's clueless. I mean, these guys, they don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're looking at. I think they look at the wrong variables. They'll look at arm strength, maybe how fast the guy is. That doesn't matter. That's not the variable. In the 60s, the Lions had this guy, Earl McCullough from UCLA. He was the fastest guy. Guess what? He couldn't catch the ball. It doesn't matter the speed. It matters, is he a football player? Can he catch? And he proves it in college. So therefore, if the guy's no good in college and you haven't heard of him, why would he be a good pro? And very few are. So when you look at the stars in the league, Tom Brady was very good in college. He was a winner in college. Michigan wasn't smart enough to play him all the time, but when they played him, there was a Michigan State game where Drew Henson's getting killed in the first half. They're down, 14, 20 points. He brings in Brady in the second half. They don't sack. They were sacking Henson. They must have had 7 or 8 sacks in the first half. Brady comes in. They never sacked him. He drives him downfield. Thinks he puts up 20 or 30 points in the second half. I think Michigan still loses. There's the mark of a winner. Look what he did. He didn't get sacked in a game that this Drew Henson's getting sacked all over. He finds these guys. He puts up points on the board where the other guy couldn't. That's the winner. So if you watch the games, you know this. So, enough about theory. So, okay, Teaserking, who's going to... So let me give you the top 5 teams that I think had really good drafts. First one I'm going to say is Atlanta. I give them an A grade. I don't give out A grades. Most of the grades I give out are probably C's, and then some B's and some D's. And A is very hard to get from me. Why? Well, I look at who Atlanta got. They got the running back from Indiana, Coleman, rushed for 2,000 yards on an Indiana team in the Big Ten. That's huge. They got the wide receiver, Hardy. They got Beasley, the linebacker from Clemson, and they got a quarterback from LSU who all they do is produce NFL secondary men. And you can look all over and you see a lot of LSU, Honey Badger, Patrick Peterson. They know how to make secondary guys. They developed them well at LSU. That was a great draft. So there's 4 good players who will start for Atlanta. They also got some other defensive help, which they desperately needed. Now they got Matt Ryan, so they got Coleman as the running back. They already have, they already had good wide receivers. You add Hardy to the mix, and now you got Beasley and the other kid from LSU to shore up the defense, and some others. So that's a very good draft. They got their need. They should be back to the playoff team with the defense they got. The next highest grade, I'm going to go to Green Bay. Green Bay, I gave a B. I like what they got. They got Ryan, the linebacker from Michigan, which they needed help on defense. They got 2 guys in the secondary, which I graded very high. They got Montgomery, the wide receiver from Stanford, which I think will be good. And then in a sleeper, they got Hundley, the quarterback from UCLA. Obviously not now, but he'll be a great quarterback. It's a very good pick. They don't need him now, but for that reason, I really like this draft. I think Montgomery helps them at wide receiver, and then all the defensive help. They had a good enough defense. They should have won the Super Bowl last year. And, you know, it's tough because everybody blames the kid on the, you know, why did they shut Rodgers down, this and that. It's all bullshit. They had the game won. If they just would have, Jordy Nelson catches the onside kick, the game's over. I mean, so basically, what you're looking at is a very strong team. They went to Seattle and kicked their ass. I mean, they had Seattle buried. And I haven't seen anybody go into Seattle and do that. So I look at Green Bay it'll be Green Bay and Seattle again this year, but I look for Green Bay to be the top team in the league. Because psychologically, they went into Seattle and beat their butts and won the game. I mean, they didn't win it, but they won it. You know what I mean? It took a fake field goal, it took an onside kick, it took a miracle to beat them. But they didn't get blown out 31-0 like a lot of other teams would have, like New Orleans did, and when Frisco lost there. So, I mean, they played them very, very well. So I look at Green Bay as being the top team. So this Montgomery will help, and some defensive help will help them. The next B grade I give is to Houston. They got Hilliard from LSU. They got Strong, wide receiver from Arizona State. They got 2 quarterbacks and a linebacker. And I thought they had a really good draft. Hilliard's a running back who was very good at LSU, and he ended up late. That was a great pick. They still need a quarterback, so we'll see what they do at quarterback. But I thought it was a very good draft for them. They got the 2 starters, Hilliard and Strong, and then the first 2 quarterbacks and a linebacker. So they should have 4 or 5 starters on this team. So if they can find a quarterback, or Casey Keenum gets a little better, they'll be okay. Now, maybe if they actually traded Detroit for Kellen Moore, they'd go to the Super Bowl. But nobody's smart enough to do that because, for whatever reason, I don't get it. They don't. Nobody will take up Kellen Moore. Next A grade I give to Miami. I mean, not only did they get Ndamukong Suh, who, you know, he's okay. I mean, you don't win with defensive tackles, and that's really the problem. So they overpaid for him, obviously. He's not worth it. How many playoff games did the Lions win? with Kelvin Johnson. I mean, none with Sue. So, but I do like that they picked him up. They overpaid. What I like in the draft they got a Jay, the running back from Boise. They got Lippett, who's a steal from Michigan State, as a wide receiver. And they got wide receiver Parker from Louisville. So they got 3 starters right there. They had Sue to the defense, and they picked up a few other free agents. I don't think they can beat New England because Tannehill is not a good quarterback. He's not a winner, as I pointed out earlier. So what I like here is I like who they picked up. I think Lippett and Jay were just steals. I mean, this kid from Boise, very good running back. Lippett, what he did at Michigan State, he was a great wide receiver there. Yeah, the Michigan State players aren't getting their proper due yet, but they will. So anyway, I give Miami a strong A grade there. The next one is New Orleans. I give them a B grade. Basically, I love Grayson, the quarterback from Colorado State. When Breeze is ready, this guy will step in. And I like Wise, defensive player. Or they had nice defensive picks, which they needed. There's 3 or 4 good defensive players that'll start right away, which they need. Their defense is terrible. So it's a good grade for them, but they're still going to, they got the center Unger from Seattle, which will help, although they lost their tight end. So I'm not sure where they stand this year. They were really terrible last year. And you notice their trends change. This is what I know a team's faulting. This team was a great home favorite for years, 3-4 years. You bet on them as a home favorite, they'd win. Last year that trend changed, and all of a sudden they couldn't cover as a home favorite. And when you see that, that's when you know the team is falling. When they're normally comfortable at home and normally winning as they favor, as they always have, and they don't, the team's falling. So I'm not crazy about New Orleans. I'll bet against them a lot this year, but that's why I do the trends. The trends tell me what's happening. So I think it was a good draft for them, but I still think they're a lousy team. New York Jets, I'm giving them an A. They got the best quarterback in the draft, Bryce Petty from Baylor. He's better than Winston, and he's better than Mariota. They get him in the 4th round. It's a Butte pick. He's, much better than what they have. Smith, the wide receiver from Ohio State, he didn't have a lot of catches, but in the big games he came through with really critical catches. Williams, the defensive tackle from SC, I wouldn't have wasted the pick on him in the 1st round. Because defensive tackles don't win games, you could get anybody from Ohio State, Notre Dame, Penn State, Florida State. In the 9th round, you can take a defensive tackle from any of those schools, and you're going to be fine. It's not hard to play defensive tackle. You're going to stop the run. It's a passing league, so what's the point of the defensive tackle? Why would you waste your 1st pick on a defensive tackle? What do you think this Williams kid from USC is going to do? Well, he's going to record 30 sacks? No. He's going to stop the run? This isn't a running league anymore. What are you talking about? I don't get the pick. I don't get the whole defensive tackle in the first 5 round thing. Again, round 6, this kid from Ohio State, I'm going to take him. What name a defensive tackle that's won you a Super Bowl or got you in the playoffs? You can't name any. Yes, I like the defensive tackle from Seattle, Bennett. He caused havoc, but I'm sure he wasn't drafted in the 1st round. I'll check that out for everybody, but you don't waste the 1st round pick with an offensive lineman or a defensive tackle, period. So I don't get that pick, but I do love Petty and Smith. That'll be the starters. And they have a very good defense. They picked up Revis, so I look for the Jets. I give them an A here. They found their quarterback. Bryce Petty at Baylor can throw the long ball, the short ball. Yes, there's a system to it, but RG3 was a running quarterback. Petty's not. He's really a good passer. He's very accurate on the long ball. If you watched him against Michigan State, the Cotton Bowl, against a very good secondary, he lit them up. And that was half above our pros on Michigan State secondary. So that's what I'm looking for there, is Petty's very accurate with long passes, not short stuff. So in my mind, that's the guy. He's very good quarterback, very underrated for whatever reason. I don't know what the issue is with him. He's a winner. You look at him against Baylor, and he's a winner against TCU. They're down 21 or 20. He comes back and wins the game. That's the point. That's what you're looking for. They won every game they should have won. The one they lost against West Virginia, I don't know what happened. I watched the game, and I couldn't still figure out what happened. But basically, the kid's a winner. He throws the passes when they're down. He wins. That's what you're looking for. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. Well, anyway, he's your starter. He's the best quarterback in the draft. An A grade for the Jets. The next A grade I'm giving you San Diego. Melvin Gordon at running back. Are you kidding me? Perfect pick. Now you got an offense with Phillip Rivers, throwing to Antonio Gates, throwing to the kid from Cal, Keenan Allen, and running Melvin Gordon. Good luck stopping that offense. It ain't going to happen. And they got Danny Woodhead back, and they got rid of Matthews, who I thought sucked anyway. So you've upgraded your running back 100%. Good luck playing defense, because who the hell do you stop? And to put it in proper perspective, let's say you drafted this Williams, this defensive tackle from USC. You put him out of Oakland. Good luck stopping San Diego. What's he going to do? He ain't going to stop Gordon. He can't stop Rivers. He can't put pressure on him. What's the point of the defensive tackle? So anyway, an A grade for San Diego for that move. The rest of the picks for defense, yeah, I'm sure there'll be 2 or 3 starters in there. San Diego had a fairly good defense. That wasn't really their problem last year. But they had a lot of injuries to the secondary, and they drafted for those needs. Plus, they get the injured players back. I look at San Diego in the playoffs this year, provided Rivers stays healthy and Gates stays healthy. And my last A grade goes to Seattle. They got Clark, the defensive end from Michigan. Good pick. They got 2 offensive linemen. They got 3 defensive ends. And they got Tyler Lockett from wide receiver from Kansas State. A perfect fit for them. He's a returner. He's a great receiver. Again, you watch Kansas State. The guy would get open. He'd catch all the big plays. If you needed a third down conversion, he'd do it. Touchdowns. Screw the height. Screw the weight. Screw whatever you want to do that the scouts look at. I mean, this guy was a lower round pick. This guy should have been a first round pick. If you watch the play, the guy, all he does is get open, catch the ball, move the chains. He doesn't fumble. He's smart. He returns kicks and punts. This is the guy. This guy's an all-star. What, is he too small? I mean, come on. In college, they're not big players. I don't understand any of this. How the scouts, they look at the wrong variables. This is the guy. A grade for Seattle. Another Super Bowl appearance. With the 3 defensive guys they added, and then they're smart. They lost Unger, but they pick up Jimmy Graham from New Orleans. Now they got a great tight end, and they got Lockett. So now they got a hell of an offense with Marshawn Lynch. They have 2 offensive linemen to replace Unger, and I guarantee you they had a center, because Unger was hurt last year anyway. So, they were winning games without Unger. That's not that big a deal. But with Graham, and the key there is Marshawn Lynch, and Russell Wilson, and Coach Pete, and Sherman. That's why they win, and they're all there. Seattle, another Super Bowl. Well, that's the NFL draft A and B grades. And I'll do another one on the worst grades. So everybody have a nice day. This is the Teaserking. I'm here and getting ready for football. So this is the NFL draft, teams that drafted very well. Have a nice day. Again, it's Teaserking, www.teaserking.com.